Peter Navarro is here to brag about it, and we welcome you to do that, sir. It's some of the brilliance you guys have put together. How do you get a number like that while cutting government jobs?
Trumpomics. It's pretty simple. The Fed and the pundits haven't caught up to the fact that when you deregulate, when you tax cut to stimulate investment, when you strategic energy dominance to get lower gas and diesel prices, and when you have fair trade and attract trillions of dollars of investment, guess what? You grow. My favorite part of the report, Rob, was this hat trick. You had the unemployment rate going down. Yeah. You also had the labor force participation rate going up. In other words, all those folks that were sitting on the couch because illegal aliens stole their jobs and real wages were stagnant under Biden are now coming back into the work. The third part of the hat trick, prime age workers up, both men and women. Why is that important? Because they're the sweet spot of the labor force where they're the most experienced and productive. You know, they got the seniors kind of fading out. You got the youngins inexperienced.
You also had tariff revenue up 300%, which is another part of the equation of what you guys are trying to do. Hundreds of billions of dollars in tariff revenue. We're waiting the Supreme Court's tariff ruling. How critical are these tariffs to what he's trying to do diplomatically around the world as well as to the economically?
Well, Rob, you remember when the president assumed office, we were very, very worried about an impending fiscal cliff because of the fiscal profligacy of the Biden regime. I mean, basically, they tried to spend their way into buying an election, including the other part of that report was 1.9 million phantom jobs that Biden bragged about that we now know didn't exist. And we were looking at a very serious multi-trillion dollar deficit situation going forward because of what they did. And the tariffs turn that completely around. I mean, it's a net. You go from down 3 trillion to up 3 trillion. I mean, it's just pretty amazing. So there's a lot at stake. February 20th, a week from Friday, is the next day that the Supreme is going to drop new decisions. Look, the law is on our side. If the Supreme Court wants to support the Trump tariffs, the law is clearly on our side. Tariffs are not a tax on domestic people. They're tariffs on foreigners, and they bear the burden. And the whole point of the IEEPA tariffs are to change the behavior to enhance our economic and national security. And by the way, tariffs are a way of imposing restrictions to achieve that goal, just like quotas and embargoes. But tariffs are a more moderate way of doing it. So
very valuable tool that you have in the war chest. Absolutely.
We'll see what happens,
I got two more big ones for you. I got to get to them before I run out of time. But you had the EPA head, Lee Zeldin, with the president today. They've cut the climate change scam off at its knees. I love this story. The termination of the endangerment finding, which is what science used to classify carbon as a danger to our health. This is at the core of so much of the green scam. Give me a quick answer on how important this is.
Well, look, all you have to do is look at Europe to understand how extremism on this issue can really clamp down on an economy. I mean, Europe, what's the difference between Europe and us? They got as many people, they got resources, they got smart people there,
their wealth
but they're just struggling. And they're struggling because of the kinds of extremism they have. And the whole, the 4 points of the Trump compass, one of the big ones is the lowering the regulatory burden. And that includes what was done today. It's a big deal. What's your other one? You got one more.
Yeah, I know. We're running through them pretty quick here. I like that.
You got your list?
Jamie Dimon said recently that Trump's push to cap credit card interest at 10% would be a disaster for the economy. Some of these people are paying 30% interest on credit cards. You called him out in an interview today. Tell me why he's so wrong on this, why that idea is good.
Well, first of all, there's a lie of omission there, Jamie. I did my Kevin Spacey kind of like talk to the camera. Jamie, I'm talking to you right now. You, S.O.B, are the biggest beneficiary of interest rates on credit cards that are up to 30%. You, Jamie, the company you own is the biggest beneficiary. So you come out and act like, oh, you're acting in the public interest, and people don't look behind the hood. That guy is a usurious thief that's hurting the American people. He should shut up until those things come down. We don't need his advice. So that's pretty much what I did on Bloomberg. I got to do it on Newsmax, which is even better.
There you go. I love that. And yeah, I mean, you're talking over $1 trillion in credit card debt in this country. Do the numbers on that at 25-30%. It's a tremendous amount of money.
It's terrible, right? It's really sad. So let me just say that the president's acting on this. We've got some things to get these credit card companies to take some responsibility. And we're not going to let go of this because the American people want this done. And we're going to work really hard to take people like Jamie Dimon and knock some sense into them.
Good to see you. Peter Navarro, thank you so much.
All right.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt Tonight on Newsmax.